I repeat, do not allow anyone to speak negatively about you. Now, you cannot go with a gun to people's head and command them to speak positive about you. You can't. Neither do I recommend you to do that. Neither can you physically prevent people from speaking bad about you if they're in their own houses or they're amongst their friends or amongst their relatives. But what you can do is supernaturally trample upon all witchcraft and all spells enforced upon you. Because remember, when people agree negative about you and they have a negative will against you collectively, that is witchcraft. They don't have to go to some fortune teller. They don't have to go to some voodoo priest. They don't have to use confusion or any, how do I say, potion, anything like that. They don't have to put pagan symbols on the floor and light candles. They don't have to do any of that. People agreeing negative about you and speaking negatively upon you collectively, that is witchcraft already. So you don't have to be a witch to practice witchcraft. When you participate in the demonization of someone else, when you join a collective, in doing that, you are participating in collective witchcraft. You're not a witch, but you've participated in collective witchcraft. Look, if someone has done horrible stuff and people are complaining about it, okay, people are complaining about it because indeed the individual did horrible stuff, but beware that you don't join people in enforcing collective witchcraft on someone. I'm telling you, what do you do when you sense as if there is collective witchcraft being done upon you? You agree with Christ, you decree His word on your life, you don't hold anything against the people that are doing you wrong, but you do deal with what's happening. You deal with things from the root. So that implies that everyone that contributes to negative emissions towards you will be dealt with. You're not going to pray that bad stuff happens to people and all of that. No, absolutely not. You're not going to repay evil. However, people will be dealt with at a distance. It can be that you feel a lot of headaches. I've been through this. You feel a lot of headaches out of the blue. And those headaches come and go. But then you think, hold on a minute. I'm walking, I'm working out, I sleep well, I don't watch anything frightening before I go to bed. So I eat well, I drink well, and then you think, why do I have these sudden headaches like that? But then you realize that it's any time you're about to accomplish something, like finishing a book or something good just happened in your life, you met some new people, you have this headache just coming. What's that? That's the psychic attack that comes your way because there are people agreeing negative about you. They've collectively sworn spells upon you, and they're standing behind their decision. And what happens now? Demon spirits are empowered by this agreement of those people, and demons now are enacting that agreement. But the demons are parasites; they don't really have power of their own. They're using the negative emissions of other people. And that's why you have these headaches, because there are attacks upon you and your energy field senses harm coming your way. That's why you have those headaches. Don't ignore it. What do you do then? First of all, you return all the arrows of the enemy back to their senders. Those demons are acting it out. You send the negativity back to those demons. And automatically, it will return back to those that initiated the contract. Now, you're not out there to get other people and do wrong to other people. However, you need to be safe. And you continue agreeing with Christ. And you evaluate the situation and you deal with it wisely. You know what I'm saying here? Because listen to what I'm saying here. Psychic attacks are common. There are many people out there who live. They're not really living, they are in haunted situations that keep following them because some relative or sometimes even their parents spoke negative words upon them, often repeatedly. And the individual is not aware that it's a spell that's been enforced on him, his or her life. And now that spell is working out through other people because the demons are enforcing it to other people. Now those other people being used by the demons are eventually responsible for their compliance. So they also have to repent. But that doesn't concern you. What concerns you is that you ought to be safe. And that means it has to be dealt with from the root. Too often, when we encounter weird circumstances, we deal with them based on our own understanding. No, go to the root. Because what I've just spoken about, collective witchcraft, it's very common in the world. Collective witchcraft and psych attacks are very common. They're far more common than people realize. Now let me tell you, when you follow Christ, you will encounter a lot of those. Collective witchcraft and psychic attacks. Why? Because people in the world, not all people, but there are people in the world that will turn on you because you agree with Christ. You walk in the power, and they are terrified of the power, so they will take actions against you. Christ said offense will come. Realize this. It will come. Some of you, you tolerate spells and curses. Now look, Christ said to love your enemies. That's your attitude towards them. You walk in love towards them, but you can't walk in love with them. And walk in love towards someone does not imply that you condone danger against you. If the other needs to stop or needs to be dealt with, they need to be stopped and they need to be dealt with. Plain and simple. That's how it is. I mean, Christ didn't play games with Pharaoh nor with the Egyptians. Moses agreed with Christ, and Moses didn't play games either. They didn't want to release the Israelite people, so Christ troubled them a lot, and they had to comply. When Jezebel and Ahab were out there to kill God's people, man, Elijah, filled with the Holy Spirit, man, in agreement with Christ, he dealt with them severely. Now, Elijah was not vengeful out there to get people. He just realized this needs to stop. So neither Moses nor Elijah blessed and empowered the persecutors because they couldn't. So bless those that curse you, all that. That's your attitude, that you walk in benevolence. But when it comes to dealing with evil and destroying the works of the devil, you ought to be stern. Now, you still walk in love towards everyone else, but you have to be realistic. You have to acknowledge safety comes first. Okay? And here's the thing. To walk in love towards other people also implies that you value safety. How can you walk in love towards someone and you don't value safety? If you don't value safety, it's not love. You can especially not walk in love with people if you don't value safety. You get what I'm saying here? Look, a lot of folks die before their time. They die due to sicknesses, or let's say diseases, and some people end up in cursed, oppressive relationships over and over again because of what? There's a curse haunting them. And the curse is a result of collective witchcraft. That's why people pleasers in the world tend to have it easy. I'm not saying all people pleasers, but people pleasers tend to have it easy. You know why? Because they please people so often, people tend to forget about it. People have a good feeling with it. And don't receive much contention from others. Those people pleasers, often they are covert pagans, they are smart. Yes, they are. But they're still in bondage. Now, as a believer, you ought to walk in peace with everyone as long as it depends upon you. As long as it depends upon you. So it doesn't always depend upon you. Just realize that no matter how peaceful you are towards others, you will have offenses coming against you. And your life is valuable because there are people depending upon your blessing and your anointing. So you ought to be alive and well. That's why you agree with Christ, so you will operate in the power of the Holy Spirit to trample on scorpions and serpents. Walking by faith isn't just hoping that things will work out well and just sit down or lay on your bed and expect things to happen. No, you are active, but you're active in a Christ-centered manner. And it also implies trample upon scorpions and serpents. Okay? Now, again, you're not repaying evil for evil. You're not on a witch hunt here. You just acknowledge this needs to be dealt with, this needs to be uprooted. So you deal with the demonic spirits and the demonic roots, and when you do that, automatically the people that are involved are affected. But that's not your fault. They shouldn't be in the negative. And here's the thing, not everyone will accept you reaching out to them. Some people will plainly hold on to the negative no matter what. They are hardcore relief seekers. They are wicked. They're not just sinners, they are wicked. Okay, you have such people. Just accept it. They exist. Now, Christ himself will destroy the wicked once for all. During his lifetime, you keep your distance from them safely and you overrule them in prayer. Because your prayers are powerful. You don't need to have a gun or an army and those fleshly things. Walk supernaturally. And I'm talking to believers, not individuals. I'm not talking that if you're part of some patrol team that needs to guard a neighborhood or part of border control, that's something else. I'm talking to you individually as a believer. Overrule the curses people send your way. How? By keep walking by faith. Look, it's not you defending yourself. The defense comes from Christ. You just have to agree with Christ to operate in that defense. You get what I'm saying here? Look, a lot of folks underestimate the power of collective witchcraft. Collective witchcraft is far more powerful than individual witchcraft done by individual warlocks and witches. Because collective witchcraft has many people backing it up. I'm not saying that individual witchcraft is not powerful, but collective witchcraft is quite dangerous. And that's why you ought to operate in agreement with Christ, so you operate in his safety. Look, I'm recording this video because I sense that there are people that are following this channel that are going through very hard times now. And you just don't understand why those hard times keep coming to you. Well, now you know it's the result of collective witchcraft. It's not just some witch somewhere wearing some black robe, lighting candles, and calling your name before some altar with a skull on it. That's what a lot of folks think when they think of witchcraft. No, it's not that. It's collectively people agreeing negative about you and holding on to it. You have wicked people out there. And then you have people who are just in denial. They're not wicked yet, but they're coming close to it. Now you walk in love towards everyone. Of course you want everyone to be saved. Of course you want everyone to be delivered. But here's the thing, not everyone will comply with Christ. Christ has enemies, hardcore enemies. And they'll turn into your enemies also. What do? You keep agreeing with Christ and keep walking by faith. Your life is valuable. So agree with Christ that your life is valuable, because there are people out there that need you. There are people out there that depend on you walking in your anointing. So take this walk by faith seriously. Okay? Fight the good fight of faith. And all the other fights, you've overcome them. That being said, agree with Christ and be at peace.